What's up, Yang Gang? So I am joined with a very special guest today, my sister Victoria, and she is on the front lines of this whole COVID-19 thing. This is the first time that we've actually met face to face. It's crazy that we have to do it through social distancing. Um, Man, it's great to see you. It's great to actually put eyes to you. That's awesome. You look like you've been working.
Yeah, you too. You too. Yeah, man, 6 days a week. It's crazy.
Wow. So tell us what you do exactly.
Okay, well, I'm a state-tested nursing assistant. I take care of the elderly in the nursing homes, 6 days a week, most days 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I've been with my company for going on 4 years now at the same nursing home. And that's really much it. Just go to work all the time.
That sounds like a lot of hours. Geez, and I can't imagine like since COVID-19 hit, how much more pressure that this has got y'all under. But I want to go back to the pre-COVID-19 days for a minute, and I want you to talk about like what you would generally do during those days, when things were quote normal.
Right. Okay, so you would usually just go in your normal doors now, and you would take your clients to the dining rooms. You would have their families coming in. And now there's literally one door in the whole facility that's unlocked. You have to go in, you got to get screened every single morning. You have to get everything tested, your temperature, everything. And now nobody's families are allowed in at all, and it makes it hard because you have all these people with dementia who are in their daily routines, who are so used to doing the same thing, and now, without their families coming, everybody's like upset, asking, and they don't understand. You can explain it over and over and over and tell them, there's a bad virus going around, but you can't expect a 90-year-old to understand exactly what is going on, and now they're not allowed in the to eat. So we have to prepare each person. I have 26 people in one hall. I have to prepare every single meal, every single tray, and I have to hand deliver it to every single person. Mind you, a lot of them need fed. We usually feed them all in the dining room together, pass their medicine, all that. Now we have to do that individually to every single person every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm there 3 meals a day. So 3 meals a day, I'm making 26 trays, delivering them to everybody's room, running from room to room, making sure everybody gets fed, nobody's spilling this or spilling that. It's just a hassle. It's so much stress on everybody. And the families, the families are seeing them through windows, which makes everybody emotional. When you got a 96-year-old crying because she wants her son inside the building, she doesn't understand why she's seeing them through windows. So we have to calm them down. They're screaming, I just want them in here. And we're telling them, like, you guys, we can't allow anybody. It's to the point, their hairdressers, older people get their hair done every week. And now we haven't had any hairdressers in there for weeks. So everybody's upset about that. Their hair is just going beyond crazy. They're not allowing nobody in these nursing homes at all, anybody. And it's completely draining. So normally my patients' families come in, when I leave at 5, they come in and help take care of them until the other people arrive. So now their families aren't allowed in there. So all of it's put on me, and if I'm not there, then everybody just doesn't want to work. Nobody wants to work. Everybody just wants to take time off and make sure their families are healthy. And I'm stuck because part of me is like, yeah, I got family at home, but part of me is like, if I'm not here taking care of these guys, who's going to do it? There's nobody else but me to take that responsibility, and it's hard because these people rely on us, man. They, and there's not one person in my nursing home right now that has tested positive. Everybody's healthy, everybody's good. So that's just the main thing we want to keep it at. But it's stressful, a lot more stressful than what it was before for barely $12 an hour. It's very stressful.
It makes us And just listening to that, it's heartbreaking because, you know, my mom has dementia. And like, it's like you say, there's this, you know, if there is a routine and then all of a sudden that routine is gone, you know, that person then loses that tether that they have to reality.
Yep.
It's very, very heartbreaking to hear, number one, the stress that you're under, but
Yeah.
all of these families, oh my gosh, I can't, it's hard for me to wrap my head around. And this is just one nursing facility. You know, this is now expand that nationwide. And the ravages that you're seeing with this virus go far beyond the virus itself. It is literally impacting our everyday lives. And now I'm sure you also have to deal with the fear of, you know, you go home and do you really want to go to the grocery store? You know, because then you might contract it. You know, then you might not only spread it in the nursing home, but now you have to worry about your family catching it. Talk about that.
It is very heartbreaking because like a lot, like my one client's sons, he says, you know, I just don't want my dad to forget who I am, you know, and it's hard because he's forgetting who his son is, you know, and it's difficult, man. And yeah, and I haven't even been to a store in weeks because I literally work 8 a to 8 p. I come home and I strip all my clothing outside of my house and immediately get in the shower, you know. And then I'm working so many extra hours to make sure that, you know, these people aren't going crazy because their families can't come. And I don't even, like, I texted my boss today and I told him, I said, I know I'm like the only one that's wanting to work, but I need time for my family. You know, there's so many nurses, so many caregivers that are putting their whole lives aside throughout all of this just to make sure that people have the care they need, you know. And I pray to God every day that you know, nobody tests positive at my nursing facility. Everybody's healthy as of right now. I just take it day by day, you know. It's I feel more bad for the families than anybody. There's a lot of people who are forgetting who their sons are, or forgetting who their daughters are, or who don't understand, oh, I've been through the flu. This ain't nothing. It's not just the flu. You know, that's what you got to explain to these people with dementia. It's not the things you've seen in your lifetime. This is something that's never happened before, you know. And the more tests that are being provided around the United States, the more cases that are being found, you know. The more tests, the more people we're going to find out that have it. There's people, I'm sure, that I communicate with that have it, and I'm not even aware because there's not enough tests to provide for everybody, you know.
Now you live in Ohio, and you know I'm up here in Vermont.
Correct.
And so tell me what you're seeing in Ohio.
Carelessness. Everybody in Ohio feels like the governor and the president are not their bosses, and they're going to continue to do whatever they want. The stores are packed, the sidewalks are packed, people are still having parties, people are careless about it, you know. And just like I went to Dunkin' Donuts yesterday and the lady didn't have no gloves on, didn't have a mask on. I said, are you serious? You know, you guys touch money, touch credit cards, all that all day long. You know, you guys should be wearing that PPE that you guys are supposed to be provided. You know what I mean? It's just like everybody just thinks it's a big joke. I don't get it. I don't know. People are careless up here, that's for sure. Except the people who are working on the front lines and who see it firsthand and see what an impact it's having on everybody, you know. And people like me wish other people would see how serious this really is, you know, especially with the elderly and the children. You know, they get sick, it's going to take a toll on their bodies, and it's over for them.
You know, right now we're looking at, you know, they're saying 200,000 deaths. But I don't think that we're done with this because of that very thing that you're talking about. I don't think people are taking this seriously enough. I see it here in Vermont too. And it's like you're misunderstanding what this virus is. This is not the flu, and it's going to kill
Right.
a lot of people if we don't get this under control. And it's scary to think
Yeah,
you're in another state and you're seeing the same thing. And if we don't watch
absolutely.
it, we're not going to be able to flatten the curve enough to get under this, because right now there are only so many hospital beds in the United States, and there won't be
Yep.
enough hospital beds for people, and people will die in the waiting room waiting.
Or ventilators.
Exactly.
I agree. Outside of every hospital here in Akron, there are really, really big tents set up outside of every single hospital. I don't know exactly like if they're for the people who have the coronavirus, or I'm not exactly sure what's going on inside these really big tents, but I'm pretty sure that's where they're keeping most of the people who do have the coronavirus. But I still think we need more testing. That is where it's at. So many people have it that don't even know. You know what I mean? There's not enough ventilators to provide for people. Like you said, people are going to die in the waiting rooms if people don't get their stuff together, and start taking it seriously. My immune system is so weak. Coming from somebody who's had pneumonia last 4 years, like that is the last thing I need, is for something to attack my body the way that the coronavirus does to people with weak immune systems. It's not just about you, it's about everybody. Like, you go out and you touch one thing that person had the coronavirus that they touched, and you're contracting it to every single person you're in contact with. The masks don't help. The mask, it's human contact, it's airborne. The mask, okay, I understand they might help a little bit, but people need to take it serious. They need to start wearing their gloves. They need to stay in the house. They need to wear masks and keep that 6 feet distance. People need to listen to their state authorities and take it serious, or we're not going to be able to do that curve. It's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I do believe that.
How are your grocery stores there?
Empty. Everything is completely empty. I am so lucky to even find a dozen of eggs right now, because everybody wanted to go and panic and buy all this food and toilet paper. You can't find a roll of toilet paper anywhere because so many people just hoarded it for whatever reason. I understand making sure you're prepared, but there's other people too. You know what I mean? People have got to start thinking about other people. The grocery stores are completely empty here. Like, I don't even waste my time and go at this point.
And I think part of the problem is, they're telling us that we're going to have to prepare to be away from everybody for, the next month. And so people in their heads, they're like, okay, well, that means I got to get enough shit for at least the next month, and it may drag on longer than that, because, you would want to, minimize your interaction with people, but it creates this rush on the grocery stores that they can't keep up with. It's not that we can't get it there, it's just we can't get it there fast enough because there's mad rush of buying it. And
Yep.
it's going to, if we don't watch it and we aren't careful, it's going to create a sense of panic in this country, that things might get really, really hairy for a while, because, now it's April, people have rent to pay, but if they're not working, how are they going to pay rent? So they're getting evicted. Where
Right.
are they going to go?
Right.
It's
It makes it hard because you have all these small businesses that, I have so many friends that are losing their businesses, just losing everything. So it makes it hard when you hear about Donald Trump slowly wanting to open the economy back up, but then you're like, if he does that, it's just going to get worse. So it leaves us at a standstill, because, like, part of me wants, our slow business owners to slowly take the precautions and start getting things rolling again. But other part of me wants it all, the virus, to just completely be gone. You know what I mean? So it's like, you want the virus to slow down, or you just want your economy to go to shit. It's one or the other. so many people have lost their businesses, lost everything they had. And unemployment, I mean, they said there's like 126,000 more applications for unemployment than what there was. You don't see all these people getting that money right away. There's people who are literally losing everything because of it. So what are we really supposed to do? Keep everything completely shut down and let our economy go to shit? Or it's hard. It's a hard decision.
Moving it back up. It's like you say, it's a catch-22. It's like, where do you go? What do you do? And that's why I really believe that something like at least temporarily, something like a universal basic income, like Andrew Yang was proposing, $1,000 a month for every adult over 18, universal across the board. If you don't need it, it doesn't matter. Spend it anyway. And just like, we're going to have to take measures like that, because we're getting to a point where people's lives are changing in such dramatic fashion that we're not going to be able to stop this if we don't get ahead of it.
Yep. And it's going to be so hard for so many people to catch up on, and a lot of people don't have daycares right now, childcare. They don't have their businesses. So many people are just losing everything. I've watched some of my friends completely lose everything. And now, like you said, they're not able to pay their rent at their houses. What are we really supposed to do here? I am so thankful at the same time of me being so worn out and tired. Like, I am so thankful that I have a job to go to every single day, because I think I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't work. I would lose everything, car payments, house payments, food. So a lot of people don't get food assistance, so many people relied on them businesses that they had, and now it's just nothing. So it's either our economy goes to shit and we take care of the virus, or they figure out something more for, like you said, more money for people. Get on it, get people the money they need. Or our economies.
We're seeing something scary happen, and our grocery stores are now bare, and that's here as well as there. That's everywhere. And so we turn to different outlets, like, let's say, Amazon, and we start ordering stuff off of Amazon. It's more expensive, so it's just eating into our finances even more. And then the people on Amazon, because they're not getting the protection they need, they have to force a strike and walk out. So it's delaying everybody even getting those outlets, because all these companies are striking because they're not being protected properly.
Yeah.
It is creating the supply line shortage now that, where are we going to go for groceries? What are we going to do? How are we going to feed our families? Like, even if we have money, like, if we're not protecting these people who are out here on the front line with the proper equipment, and people aren't taking it seriously, I just see it getting worse and worse and worse.
It's definitely going to keep getting worse because of everybody's egos. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, go
they're
ahead.
like, they feel like the government or whoever, like, that they're not the boss of me. You know what I mean? That's the people's mind mentality. It ain't about who's the boss of you or whatever. It's about getting our economy back to where it should be. And in order for us to do that, we need to listen to what they're saying. We need to follow the right precautions and do the right things and wear the right PPE. But it's also not helpful that the managers at, like, Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's and all them, they have nothing. They don't have no Perel. They don't have gloves. They don't have masks. How are we going to stop it when nobody's caring? Not even the store managers, nothing, nobody. They're not, if they're not providing it for their employees, can we really be mad at the employees? They need to step it up. People need to get serious and realize how serious it is. There are thousands of people right now. The numbers just keep going skyrocket, and they're going to continue till everybody wants to listen. And it's just going to keep getting worse.
The last time that I went to the grocery store here, and the time before that, because I was trying to stock up a little bit, we had just moved into this place, and we didn't have anything in our refrigerator at that time. So I'm like, well, I got to buy groceries. I don't know how long this is going to last. And so I'm coming up to the register, and I'm watching and the cashier just goes from this lady's groceries to my groceries, doesn't bother sanitizing her hands in between, doesn't, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, this is scary because I don't know if it's because we got there's just a lot of dumb people in this world or what
Right,
is it?
right. And and you don't know how many people they come in contact with each day. All it takes is one person to pass it to hundreds. That's all it takes is one person. One person, 50 people could have it within minutes, you know? And gas prices, what's your gas prices like down there?
I think our gas prices are right now they're about two. I haven't been to the gas station in I don't know in about a
Our
week.
gas prices, I just got gas for $1.30 up here. In Cleveland right now, you're seeing gas prices as low as 67 cents. So what's your input on that? You think that's a good thing, or do you think
Well,
that's a bad thing?
it's I was listening to Fox earlier and they were talking about the price of oil. I mean, per barrel has gotten like $22 a barrel or something crazy like that, and it's going to continue to drive gas prices down. But you know as well as I do, as soon as the economy opens back up, we're gonna be paying that full price for gas again because they ain't gonna, everybody be traveling then. Hell yeah, they can lower it now. Ain't nobody going
Yeah,
nowhere.
fuck yeah. Yep, that's why. Yep, I agree. Shit. People like me, I drive at least 65 miles a day to and from work every day. It's a 40-minute drive to my work from Akron to the other side of Canton every single day, and I am appreciating these gas prices. I just filled my tank up for like $23 today.
It's nice to have those gas prices, but honestly, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, so you've got to be into work at 8 o'clock in the morning. It takes you 40 minutes to get there. That means you have to get up at the ass crack of dawn, and then you're like
Ass
going
cracking.
all day long until 8 o'clock at night. When you can finally get off and go home, and then it's
And mind you, no lunch breaks. I haven't taken a lunch break in weeks because you cannot leave them by themselves. So I can't tell you the last time I took a lunch or a 15-minute break because everything is so hectic. Like making them trays and getting everybody's food and running from room to room to feed everybody because nobody's allowed in the dining room. Like I cannot wait for the day that comes where we can go back to normal and stop checking everybody's temperatures every 20 minutes and just it's so much, like it's so draining. And I guess just mainly the families are the more emotional part of it, and seeing so many people forgetting who they are and not remembering their sons because they can't come in for a couple weeks, and you can't expect them to know what's going on, because every 10 minutes their brain resets and they're asking why again, and you just have to explain it and explain it and explain it and hope that they don't just start tripping on you out of nowhere because they don't understand why their families aren't allowed in
let me
there.
ask you
Most of
a
them just
question.
want to leave.
Let me Okay, at the current pace that you're on, you know, your energy levels better than anybody else. Um, at
Mhm.
this pace, how long can you actually see yourself carrying on this at this rate?
I don't know because like I said, like I'm people like me are all they got right now. You know what I mean? And it's hard because I am drained. Like I don't have time to come home and play with my kids, or by the time I come home, I don't have time to do dinner. I don't have time to do anything. By the time I come home, I shower and literally go to sleep. Like I feel like I haven't really got to even see my kids in weeks because I come in and I even apologize to them. I'm like, today was such a long day. I'm ready for bed by the time I get off. And I honestly can't tell you how much my body is just drained. It's complete mentally and physically drained. Like this whole thing, I just want it to be over. And I'm not even a nurse, and the nurses have so much more that they are dealing with. So much the doctors are dealing with so much more. Like even though it seems like I deal with a lot, like I am the one that deals with the least right now. As sad as it is, like I deal with the least amount of stress in the facilities right now, because there's so many people that them nurses have so much on their hands with the temperatures and just everything. Like it's just nonstop all day long, and it's draining for a lot of people. And you know, in the working environment, when one person like myself today, I was really stressed and I was just ready to go. You know, my attitude, my vibes go throughout the building. So when I have a messed up attitude and I'm down and I'm drained, that makes everybody's around me. It affects everybody. You know what I mean? So even though you're completely drained and you're just ready to stop, like you have to keep that positive attitude to keep everybody else around you going. You know, that's the environments in the nursing homes and the hospitals right now. Everybody's completely drained, but we keep pushing, you know, and I try to keep the best attitude. You know, I try to smile throughout the day just to let everybody know, like, we're in this together. You know, everybody feels like everything's put on them, but everybody is dealing with the same stuff right now. You know, and if I can change that by keeping my positive attitude while I'm at work, and you know, not letting everybody know how drained I completely am. Like when their family comes, like, Victoria, how are you holding up? We are great. We are fantastic. We have been doing so well. You know, everything's just great. And you just put on that smile and you tell them that, even though you know it's not true. You know that it's draining, and you know, like, it's more mentally draining than physically draining. Dealing with the Alzheimer's patients during this right now, because nobody understands what's really going on. They think, you know, I done lived 95 years, I can handle anything. No, this isn't like anything you've dealt with in your 95 years. You know, it's a lot more serious. And they think, you know, like the olden days, like, you know, they don't believe in all this and all that, and it's not like that anymore. You know, and it's hard to get them to understand. But I don't, like, the next week or two, I know for a fact I'm working 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 6 days a week. The only day right now I have off on is Sunday. And they asked me to pick it up, and I told them I couldn't.
Well, Victoria, I want to, that being the case, I know, you know, I would like for you to go home and spend some time, you know, with your family, at least for a little bit. So we'll go ahead and wrap this up.
So when do you think we'll see a peak? When do you think that we might start seeing some changes?
I hope soon, but you know, it's probably going to be at least another month out, man, really.
Well, I know all of Ohio schools are closed at least until May 1st is the earliest that they could open back up as of right now. But I'm pretty sure all of the schools are out for the rest of the year. And I don't even know how they plan on dealing with this. I mean, what about the kids that were supposed to graduate this year? You know, what's going to go on with that?
I feel like they should get an automatic pass. It ain't their damn fault.
Oh, I think they should too.
You know,
I agree 100%.
All standardized testing, so let's give them all a pass. Just, hey, you win. And just to see what you've gone through and what you are going through right now, you know, I may be partial, but I consider you a hero. Thank you for everything that you do out there. Thank you for being on the front line. And I know that our dad would be very proud. He would be very proud of you.
He would. I think he'd be proud of both of us, because you're carrying his name on wonderful, for real. You do. I watch all your videos every single day, and I see Dad in you so much, so much. And I think he's very proud of all of us at this point. I do.
Thank you for being on the show, Victoria. Go home, see your family. I love you. We'll do it again very soon.
Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely. Love you guys too.